I got early access to Project Eluune, and while it's not coming out for a while, here are 5 things I find promising about their auto-battler. The first thing is targeting. In other auto-battlers, most units will just attack the closest enemy. In Project Eluune, however, each unit has its own mission, or target. Let's take a look at these 2 examples. The Nectar Fae. This is one DPS unit you're going to want to have peppering your opponent. You can see it has incredible range all across the map. However, the unit can never move, but that blue ring shows how far its range is, and it does consistent damage over time. But it will always focus on the highest max HP beefcakes, so you'll have to consider they'll never target a smaller unit. The Ram, on the other hand, targets the furthest unit with his ability. This can be useful in targeting those squishy damage dealers in the back line. You will also see that he does damage through all of the units he passes through, so positioning to hit all the enemy units in a line is a key to using him effectively. In this map, I actually use him to attack the backline again to hit that Nectar Fae, ramming through the 3 opponents that are in front of him. But beware, there are some frontline units that can hurt Ram before he can activate his ability. In this case, my Ram came out with only 50% HP, so it's key to position just far enough away that he activates his ability and gets to pass through all the enemies before they can hurt him. The second thing is abilities and timing. They activate under certain circumstances, not based on mana or energy bar. Let's take a look at the Caveman Ranger. This unit will cast its ultimate and bring down a hail of arrows when a unit dies. In this map, you can see that once the mushroom, or it's called the Eye of the Plane, dies, a massive field of arrows brings down, and then the ability is now on cooldown for the next 10 seconds. In this other case, my units died too quickly together. My Ranger was only able to cast 1 time because it was still on cooldown. So all of those abilities that have cooldowns are shown on the unit card. It's really important to try to meet the cooldown with whatever triggers that ability. The other important aspect of the unit card is armor, and this is also the third promising thing about Project Eloone's auto-battler. I find that armor is really important and can really turn the tide of a battle. Take this map for an example. I lost several times trying this board. I kept trying to place a larger max HP unit, but it would just die too quickly. It wasn't until I saw this unit, Opion's Mycen Celebrant. It has 8 armor, and it was game changing. See, I was trying to play the Eye of the Plane, which has 140 HP, that's 60 HP over Opion, but with no armor. And it was getting shredded by these opponents that had really small damage. See, the Rogue Fae only has a damage of 10, but because of Opion's armor, that subtracts 8, meaning it only has an effective damage of 2. Now, this means it would take 40 auto attacks to kill Opion, with an effective health of 400 HP, making it possible so he could hold out the fight a lot longer and allow my other units to clear the enemies. Now, the fourth thing that I find promising about Project Eluune is the grouping and the use of space. With this massive board and general slower movement speed from the units, it's really important to use the full space of this hexagon board. See, the area of this map is quite large, so you really need to spread your units out. However, with skilled play, you can actually group your opponent's board and perform really powerful burst attacks, especially from the Caveman Ranger. The fifth element that I find really promising about Project Eluune is the ability to split your opponent's forces and precision positioning. See, positioning in auto-battlers really does determine and separate the pros from the casuals, and that is no different with Project Eluune. You need to avoid grouping and split damage on your tank units when possible. In this case, I placed a couple units on the far right to keep the massive Jum army away from me. This buys me time for the Caveman Rangers to get multiple casts out for some massive damage. However, there are cases where you just want to pack tight to a side or a corner, and if you can do enough damage before the enemy units are able to reach you, it can be a huge success. But as you can see in this example, there is a lot of room for improvement. The enemy Rams wrecked my backline, so always beware of units like Ram and Corrupted Fae that have mobility and long dash distances, especially if they can go all the way across the board. As you can probably tell by now, Project Eluune has a lot of strategic depth. If you want more guides, smash that like button and subscribe for more content. I'll see you guys next time.